Hello, 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 and welcome back to Padilla Palace Projects. We are getting ready to start some seeds. I'm actually really behind in starting my pepper seeds and just about my tomato seeds. Our last frost date is not estimated until February. It's a neighbor kids. February, beginning of February, but I probably won't plant outside. This year's weather's been a little bit different, so I probably won't plant outside until March-ish, so we should be okay. But here's all the seeds for this year that we have separated out. This morning I did go ahead and I noticed some of my stuff was bolting, and so I went ahead and I just plugged in a few radishes and turnips. I'm gonna try to do a Chinese cabbage, another turnip. I planted some more mustard because that's my green mustard bolted. I don't know why, it's not that hot, so I don't know. So my giant red leaf mustard had not bolted, so I went ahead and just planted more of that. And I tried a scarlet kale outside. So I just planted all those seeds. It was 66 today, which is actually warm compared to what it has been at the end of January here. I'm in Northern California, just north of Sacramento. And okay, so we are gonna do some seed starting. What we're gonna need is a seed starting mix. I am using the Jiffy natural and organic seed starting mix. Walmart actually had this really cheap. I've been able to find it at Home Depot. It is super light. I do all container gardening, and I don't like using potting soil to start seeds. I don't have as good a success. If I have to, I can. But the seeds, when you're starting them inside, and the smaller seeds need to be able to push through, and they don't need the nutrients right away just to germinate. So this is a great thing to have, to just use seed starting mix. Okay, so we're gonna use the seed starting mix, and then we're gonna use a bowl for right now because I'm not gonna start a ton. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna show you some of the containers that you can use. You can have seed starting trays. We didn't have money this year to buy seed starting trays, so you can use almost anything to start seeds. You can use old yogurt containers. You can use strawberry containers. They already have holes in the bottom for drainage. You can use these plastic egg containers. Look a lot deeper than the regular egg containers. These ones have a deeper cutout in the middle, so they don't actually hold as much, but you could use these. And then this is a grape container, and you can use Keurig K-pods. So there's all kinds of things that you can use. The important thing is that you have drainage, and usually with starting seeds, humidity helps. So what's great about these is they already have a lid on them to help with that. So I am actually going to be using this cage-free egg container today. And then after I plant, which you should do it before, but after I plant, I'm going to stab a little hole in the bottom. So we're going to get going on doing our mixture. One of the hardest things is keeping moisture on your dirt when you are starting your seeds. They have to stay moist for them to germinate, but they can't be sopping wet, because sopping wet means they could disintegrate and they could also mold. So there's a fine line. I'm going to show you the seed starting mix. This is beautiful. It's very light, it's fluffy. It smells like spring. I like that. Super light and fluffy. There's usually not a lot of big pieces inside. It's all very light and airy. And potting soil will have bigger chunks, and there's going to be a lot more nutrients that if it's too rich or too fresh, it could actually burn your seeds, and that may be why they're not germinating. So I'm going to take a bowl. I just have a bowl from the kitchen, and I'm going to pop in some of this seed starting mix. Since we're not starting a ton, I'm only going to pull out a little bit of this, and I'm going to put it into here. And then what I'm gonna do is add some water to this, just a little bit, to get it dampened. I don't want it sopping, but I do want it damp. And then when I go to actually plant my seeds in it, then I can just mist from the top. But it's really hard to mist from the top and make sure you're getting as far down as you need to. So my hubby's gonna turn on the hose for me really fast. And I'm hopefully not gonna spray the camera. That's good. All right, so I'm just gonna add some water into here. Set that down for a minute. I'm gonna mix it up with my hand and let it get hydrated. You can tell it's starting to clump up a little bit, but there's still a lot of pieces that aren't damp. There is a point with your soil, if you're doing seeds and you don't water them right, it can get so dry it becomes, I wanted to say hydrophobic, but I don't think that's the right word, where it won't absorb water anymore. And so you want to make sure that you are staying up on hydrating your seeds. A lot of times, if you don't have the dome, one of the easiest ways to keep moisture on your dirt is to use saran wrap and place that right over the top. Okay, so this is pretty mixed up now. It's very moist now. It's not like, I can't squeeze out a bunch of moisture, but it is gonna hold its shape a little bit better, and it definitely has the moisture it needs in it. If there's any big pieces in here when I go to plant, I'm gonna pull them out. Usually this has been sifted through a lot more, so you won't have those. I did just have one little twig though. So now we are ready to get our container ready. All right, so I went ahead and I slit holes in the bottom of this container, and this is where I'm gonna start all my peppers. And then once these get going and have enough of a system to pot up, then I'm gonna put them in red Solo cups and keep them inside in those and let them continue to grow, and that will have potting soil in it with the seed starting. All right, so we are gonna start with peppers. We are growing a ton of different peppers this year. We are gonna experiment with some hot sauce and pickling and so forth. My husband's been loving eating the pepperoncinis in a jar, so we are going to be trying to preserve some that way and making sure that we have all kinds of good stuff this next winter, but be able to eat a bunch of them fresh as well. So I'm going through really fast. I just realized I left one of the peppers inside, but that's okay. All right, it's a lot of peppers. Because of space, I'm only gonna grow one of each. So I'm gonna keep track of which ones they are. I'm gonna put two seeds in each container, and then thin them if I need to. So I'm gonna start with my hot peppers first. I'm gonna separate out my sweet and my hots. I did end up getting in another pepper seed, and that was the jalapeno. It's the jalapeno but without heat, and I left that inside. Silly me. Okay, so we have Jigsaw, Serrano, Red Marconi, Sugar Rush Peach, Poblano, Dos de España, Craig's Grande Jalapeno, Lemon Spice Jalapeno, and the Black Hungarian. So those are our spicier ones that we are growing. Some of those are specifically for hot sauce. So since I have everything slit in here, I am going to rinse the container off. Before I stored this has been storing since the end of last season. But before I stored it, I made sure it was all cleaned out. If it's something you've used previously, you really want to make sure you sanitize it. That way it doesn't give any chance for any bacteria to grow. Okay, so I rinsed my container out, and I'm going to take this dirt now, and I'm going to start filling in these little slots. And these will be easy enough to scoop out the whole slot with a spoon when it's time to transfer them into their bigger containers. When I seed start, I really like to have just this seed starting mix again. And then I move it into, once it has like its first set of true leaves, I'll start moving it over into the red solo cups and having them wait there. Okay, so we're gonna get this all filled up. This was just about enough for this container, which is awesome. Getting excited. It's seed starting time. Okay. This middle row down just a little bit. Okay. So we are all filled up here and ready to plant in them. Since I'm doing all peppers and it says 1/4 of an inch deep, I'm just gonna do a little imprint in each spot so it's ready. And then if you have a package that, or you lose your package or you save seeds and you can't remember how deep you're supposed to plant, it's usually twice the size of the seed. So if it's a little seed, it doesn't go very far. So everything has the little imprints. And I'm gonna set that down. See if we can get you guys to a point where you can see. We're gonna see my husband's arm a little bit. Okay. So we've got our, actually I'll put it up here. So we've got our seeds there. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse off my hands. I hate getting dirt in my seed packages. I do have the seed starting little labels. So we're gonna get, I'm gonna get those written out really fast and we'll be right back. Okay, so I got everything labeled. And what I did was all the hot peppers I put in on red labels, and all the more mild ones I put on blue labels. And I'll show you which mild ones I'm going to be doing in a little bit. So for the Dos de España, almost all these pepper seeds are about the same size. They're not super big. I'm going to show you. So this is the Dos de España. See if I can get it to focus on the seeds. And it only takes one to grow a ton. So as soon as you have a pepper that's ripe, you can totally save seeds from that and keep growing them the following years. One of the reasons why I love growing seeds versus buying things at the store is because I get more unique things than I can find in regular grocery stores. It's actually cheaper to buy the seeds. So Dos de España, you get a minimum of 25 seeds for $2.75. And if you were going to buy 25 plant starts at the store, they would be easily $3 to $4 a piece. And if it's a more rare item, it's going to be even more expensive. So I get to grow fun varieties for cheaper. These seeds are actually from last year. I grew some already. So the 2 seeds is a backup because germination rates do go down. The percentage goes down every year. However, they're still good for years. You could store them in the freezer. You want them airtight and in a dark place so they're not getting a lot of light, and in a cooler location. So I haven't stored mine in the freezer yet, and I haven't had an issue. However, some of these that I'm not using this year, I probably will go ahead and store in the freezer, and that helps for that cold stratification period that some of them need. I just have them back kind of in my pantry area, but my pantry is in a closet and not in the kitchen, so it's not warm. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in. So my Dos de España is right here, and I'm not gonna cover them. I'm just gonna pop them in, and then when I'm done with all of them, I'll lightly cover. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna quickly fill these in. Some other things to keep in mind is that peppers, when they're growing, they're not supposed to, they're not supposed to cross-contaminate super easily. And if they did, the spice should not change the current year. I had an issue with the habanada last year that was in the same spot with the jalapenos. So it could have been just though that seed came from a hotter habanada in the first place that had been cross-contaminated or cross-pollinated, contaminated, I'm talking like it has gluten or something. So you do want to keep that in mind if you're saving seeds. You can easily cover the blossoms so that way none of the pollen from one gets in the other. I'll be growing most of these in the garage due to space out here in the apartments. So I have a setup in the garage, which I'll be showing at some point. And probably when I go to plant all my peppers, I'll be showing that. But you could take a baggie, one of those mesh party bags that you get put party favors, or sometimes you get makeup in. I want to make sure I put this in the right one. Sugar Rush Peach. And you can cover the blossoms right as the blossom starts to show, and then as it opens, you can shake it around and stuff like that, and it'll all stay inside that bag, and no insects can pollinate it. And then you'll have true to that seed, true to that plant seeds that you can save for the following year. And with seed shortages, and there are seed shortages, I do suggest saving seeds. You can save seeds from grocery store items, but you may not get the same plant. It'll still be edible in most cases, but it may not be the exact same fruit that you're going to get from it. All the ones I'm buying are heirloom and open pollinated. They're not they are not the genetically modified hybrids that you can get in the grocery store. All the seeds that you buy in the store are GMO free, because you can't sell genetically modified seeds to home gardeners actually in the United States. So everything you buy is GMO free basically. But if you're doing stuff from the seeds inside the grocery store, that's not going to be the case from like a fruit that you buy in the grocery store. Black Hungarian. It's so funny because I don't eat a lot of spice, and I'm growing all of these peppers. And I have learned to like jalapenos a little bit and stuff. But I messed with was it jalapeno or serrano peppers when my best friend was staying here for a while, and I helped cut some up, and my hands were burning so bad. So I have to wear gloves when I'm dealing with peppers. But my husband likes spicy stuff, not like crazy spicy stuff, but he does love like sriracha sauce and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that I can do like a sriracha style hot sauce with the Sugar Rush Peach. Ferment the peppers first and have fun with that. Alright, so that's all the spicy peppers. And then I'm going to show you the sweet peppers really fast that I'm growing. I'll have all of them except for one. For some reason my jalapeno is not out here. But I've got the habanada, which is the heatless habanero, sweet chocolate, corbachi sweet, great snacking pepper, lilac bell, Arroz con pollo, which is I think chicken and rice. But this is a great, from what I've heard, it's a great seasoning pepper. I have not grown it yet, but I've watched some YouTubers that absolutely rave about this pepper. So I will be growing that one. Shishito peppers, I'll be growing. Italian pepperoncinis, and then banana peppers. So some of these will be in the garage, but most of these I'm going to try to have be outside. That way my hot ones and my mild ones don't cross really. And I'll be doing a lot of pickling of these peppers as well. So with the peppers, one of the things that they do like is heat, which is one of the reasons why they can't grow right now. Peppers take a long time to germinate. The hotter they are, I've heard, the longer they take, and I have seen that. So keep that in mind. Don't give up on them too fast. They can take 3 or 4 weeks just to pop out. Just keep them moist, not too moist, but keep them moist, and on heat. So I'll put these in, I have a big window, and I'm going to have a grow light over them, and I'm going to have a heat mat. The grow light's not necessary until they start sprouting for most cases. However, on some of these pepper seed packages, I am seeing, like the shishito, it says start indoors, bright light, 8 to 12 weeks before frost date. Heat mats help forms the soil and speed germination. So they like the soil to be between 70 and 95 degrees, and it's definitely not that inside of our house. We keep our house cooler in the winter, and it usually is a little warmer in the summer, to try to cut costs on stuff. But it's, you could do a lot with a heat mat, a couple of cheap grow lights. You can find them on Amazon. I have the one that does not have the thermometer to temperature check, but you could easily temperature check your soil. I think it'll increase your temperature from what's around it by like 10 to like maybe 20 degrees. So if our downstairs is in the upper 50s, lower 60s, then it will bring it to the 70s, 80s. This was Arroz con pollo. So I will be doing that. I'm doing a setup in front of my dining room window. I kind of readjusted some stuff, so we'll be having a seed starting station there. And I have the lights that have both red and blue for my seed starting. Lilac bell. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm forgetting to tell you guys about starting. This became more of a pepper seed starting video than anything else, so I'll probably do another one later showing the K-pod, Keurig K-pod seed starting video, and I'll do that with some herbs. We're going to be doing a ton of basil this year and a bunch of other herbs. So I have everything except for the nata pino. So I'm just gently going to take, hold on. I don't have, something shifted. These fell the other direction. Because I don't have duplicates, but these are missing. So Corbaci sweet and sweet chocolate. I almost didn't plant these. This is what happens when you talk and plant seeds. Reliable to mess something up. It's okay, when the pepper pops out, I'll know what it is, right? So that's Corbaci. It's another reason why I don't cover it, especially when I'm talking. Okay, so I'll be putting these inside and you can follow along the process. But again, moisture seed starting mix, use seed starting mix. Put them in a container that has good drainage. I will be putting these on a tray and then putting them on the heat mat. That way they have a way to be able to drain. I don't bottom water these because of the containers that they are in, but I do mist them and then allow them to drain out. I just really try to keep them moist. If I don't have the dome lid, I would put saran wrap over the top, and that helps the heat and the moisture have the condensation in here, and it helps them to germinate faster. It speeds that process up. So you're looking at not, probably not 4 weeks, but closer to like 2 or 3 weeks. And then once they start to grow a little bit, then I'll up-pot them into the red Solo cups. I'm excited. I am like, these should have been started around Christmas time. And I said I wasn't going to start them at Christmas because I wanted to make sure all my Christmas stuff was put away first. And I have a smaller apartment. So I said, okay, after Christmas is put away. So I was planning on doing it over New Year's, and with my hubby being injured and getting ready for my daughter's party and stuff, we just did not get them started. So we have them started now. Better late than never. And we have a long enough growing season in 9B that we have a huge period of time between our first frost and our last frost, and we get really hot. We actually, like, August is almost too hot to grow anything. So we'll see. We should get some good success though from these. Oh, that didn't have any seeds in it. That's funny. I covered the nata pino one. Okay, leave that one open. Sweet chocolate. Okay. So those are all covered now. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of moisture again over the top, just a little bit. And then I'm going to cover this, put them on a tray, and get them on the heat mat in with the light. You do not want the light on 24 hours. You want the light to be, you want them to have daylight and sleepy time, just like humans. Plants need that too. It represents what happens outside, so it lets them have that rest and it doesn't stunt them. And then stay tuned. You'll see lots of more fun things. I'm going to probably do a Keurig one here in the next couple of weeks. Every Monday is going to be a gardening style video. Some of the videos might be some of my favorite YouTube channels, which will have some of this information, some of the places where I've learned some stuff. So I'll be doing one with that. You're going to get more garden tours as things get going, and we get everything growing and see what you can do in an apartment. Thank you for joining. I hope you are getting your seeds started if you're in the right area. Otherwise, have patience. Don't start them too early. And I'm excited about all of these pepper plants. Bye, guys.